You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I am your host, Tim Lyons, in studio with none other than the mogul of motivation, Randy Engston. What is up, buddy?
Dude, our boys are back.
The boys? Oh yeah, our little toys on the table here.
Yeah, for those on YouTube, you guys understand.
Slimer's looking dope in that gold chain, though.
He's a boss.
He was. You remember that movie? He just kind of like did his own thing, man.
Dude, he's so
They
weird.
could never catch him.
Nope. Then they just kind of adopted him.
Yeah.
He became a pet.
Yeah, they get slimed. A couple things to note. The automation workshop is taking applications and registrations right now. That's February 6th and 7th. We're going to build out automation together. We've got about 20 people coming out to Chandler at the Keep headquarters. We've got a nice room there. We're going to bring food in. We're just going to, if you've ever gone done an all-nighter in college or in school, that's what this is going to be. 2 days of just grind mode. And it'll be Thursday, Friday, so you guys can take a break on Saturday and maybe take off Friday night or Saturday morning or whatever. Come on out. If you want this done for you, with you, I guess, you need to be at this. And I've always said, like, our workshops are pretty powerful. We get into the weeds on some of these. I really think and feel deep down that this is our best one ever.
I think it's going to be the most impactful.
It may be the biggest we'll ever do. Potentially.
Yeah, I think that's very, very possible.
Yeah.
A couple things about it. It is in the platform Keep. I know we talk about it all the time, but if you're using other CRMs, things like that, this is not just bring what you have. We will be building in Keep. It's at the headquarters, and then to get registered, it's pfmarketingsolutions.com/automation.
/automation. And we'll put a link in the show notes, as well as if you're looking to buy Keep now. We've got a deal. Whatever the current deal is, by the time you listen to it, it'll be updated on that link. Check the show notes for that if you want to jump into Keep. But this episode is basically stemming from a couple of gym owners that I've been hearing some chatter about using other companies to set appointments for them at their gym.
Yeah, outsourcing that process.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure what companies are doing this, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about the pros and cons, because whatever's relevant to the people we're talking to is obviously relevant to our listeners, and we need to figure out what it's all about and whether or not you should do it. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So apparently, and I haven't looked into this too deep, just a couple conversations. Apparently, there's a company that will promise or deliver, I guess, appointments into your gym, right? So that you generate the leads from your sources, and then they'll nurture them to get them to show up at your door, and then you pay them some fee, maybe $50,
per show or something.
Per show, right? That's what I've been hearing. Again, I don't know. I heard of it anyway. And so let's talk about why you would do that or why you wouldn't do that, right? So,
sure. Pros, time. Right.
Oh, the pro to use somebody else? Yeah, if you don't have the time to physically get somebody to show up, yeah, maybe you would pay somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm. I could see that, but
what else? What other? Maybe if you've been struggling yourself, like
sure.
You've been trying it on your own and you just can't do it as good. And I don't know how good they are, but if they can do it better, then maybe you would use it.
Yeah, if it's something that you don't feel you do well, maybe you're more confident in handing that off. Consistency, maybe, if you, again, it comes back to time. If you're not, time is like the big thing. But, yeah, consistency, making sure that, like, if that's an area that you drop the ball all the time and you know that you just need somebody doing it, and you don't have a staff member that you can hand it off to, it's going to be handled. But that goes back to time.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure how they would even track if somebody shows up if they're not there local with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably a lot of.
It's an interesting thought or interesting service, I guess.
Yeah.
But
again, this is just what we're hearing. So, I see a lot of cons with this for we can talk about that. The pros would be, okay, you're going to save yourself time, and maybe if you're not doing it yourself, you can, lean on somebody else to outsource it, and you got to pay them every single time, $50, $50 every time somebody shows. And that would just go into your cost per acquisition.
Yep.
So if you're generating leads at $50 and they're charging you to get somebody in the door for $50, and that's a $100 lead, and you close at 50%, and it takes you 5 leads to 50%. So if you have 10 leads, appointments, and you close 5 of them, now your cost per acquisition is whatever, $200.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do the math. But gosh, I thought I would be better at math.
Both of us are really great at math when we're not sitting in our podcast talking about math
On the fly.
in the
which
head.
is, yeah, so that's really weird. Some of the down things that I would say is that you don't have any control of it. You don't know what's being said. I don't know if you get to see what's being said, and they could be lying to your prospects and telling them one thing, and when they get there, it's another thing. I don't know.
Authenticity.
The language that they're using.
Even the relationship side. You know what I mean? Like when you work with, like if I were to call your facility and I knew the person on the other end of the phone was part of that culture, or if I called your facility and somebody in an answering service answered that call, there is a different relationship with that caller. You know what I mean? Like I'm not as invested in, like I'm not going to ask the same questions of somebody who's sitting in a call center probably that I would ask somebody who's in the mix.
Yeah.
And so I think that the impression that it leaves with that prospect is this is cold, this is sales, this is a process. It's not.
And if you think about a company that's getting paid for people to show up, they're probably going to say whatever they need.
Whatever they need is 100%
to make the money.
Absolutely.
Even if that person's not a good fit.
Absolutely.
Right. So
that's their job.
So a lot of what we do is we try to pre-qualify on a phone call before they even show up. And so if they're not qualified, I don't want them coming in anyway.
Yes, exactly.
But if a third party is getting paid to get people to show up, well, guess what? Those unqualified leads are definitely showing up because they want the money.
Which then is going to cost the business time and money
in the long run.
Yeah, because I mean you're having somebody who shouldn't have ever walked through the door sit and take somebody's time for at least 25, 30 an hour, whatever it is, in a consultation when the answer was no before they even showed up.
And they manipulated them to get them to show up just so they get paid. I could see that happening.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it is, but I could see it happening. It makes logical sense. You get this, slick talking salesperson on a phone call or even on text, right? You can even do the same thing on text. Getting them to show up, and then it's like a complete waste of your time, but they still get paid.
But they got paid.
The third party gets paid. Anyways, be careful, I would say. I mean, I've never used an outside party to set appointments for us. We use a lot of automation now.
Yep.
And that would probably be a big plug for using automation is if you don't have time, this would be a good time that you should probably build out a system, maybe in our workshop or coming out here and have us build it for you. And using that, and you can change the language or write what you want to write, and it can be coming from you and your emails, and when they respond, you get the response. If they respond to an email, it comes to your inbox, a response comes to your text message. You can see that. You can figure out real quick on your own if this person isn't a good fit.
Yeah, you control that whole aspect.
And when you hire a third party, you're letting that go, and now it's outside of your realm, and you don't know what's being said, apparently, because the person I talked to said they don't know. It's like not transparent enough. Like they just show or don't show, and you don't know what was said prior to that. And we'd like to, like I said, we like to pre-qualify and ask questions on phone calls before they come in, and we try to get a little bit of information from them, and we use that in the consultation as a way to convert.
I look at this as like, this is a business of sales. Personal training and these types of business, this is a relationship business. Mm-hmm. And that relationship starts the second that lead is generated and the conversation that takes place thereafter. Mm-hmm. And if you're not controlling segments of that, like you don't control that whole relationship, you can be starting somebody off on the wrong foot very easily.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Or the conversation that if it doesn't maintain the same type of, apples to apples, you don't want to give that feeling like somebody is just a number. And that's what I'm afraid of in a situation like that, is the sales the priority and not the new member.
Yeah, and I don't know who the company is, but I'm thinking they're probably listening to the gyms saying, hey, I can't get anybody to show up, and then they just created a business around that.
Sure.
And created a solution. Well, we can solve that problem, not thinking about the long-term ramifications of bringing in the wrong people or saying the things, or not controlling the relationship or the conversations all the way until they get into the gym. And the company's doing it. It's like, oh, we're solving the problem for these guys so we can make money. You solve a big enough problem, you can make enough money. That's probably the angle that they created, and why they created this service, is to solve the problem. But is that the right solution for the gyms today? And I don't think it is, because of the things we said.
Yeah, well, and because we understand the way of creating a system for yourself within your own business, like through automation. Mm-hmm. The cost and the time and everything goes into their one time,
and you own it.
And you own it, and you can manipulate it. You can change it. You have a baseline for measurement. You can create more success once you have that, system in place. Paying somebody else to kind of fill that gap every single time you need somebody to show through the door, you're relying on somebody else. What happens when they go away? You're back at square one. What happens? There's so many variables that you can't. This is not a long-term business solution.
Solve the problem the right way is what I would say.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I would subscribe to that. Right? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I would say build this system. Like, if you're going to own the business, own the processes, own it all, not pieces of it.
That's what I mean. I know we're both fans of The Prophet. Mm-hmm. Marcus Lemonis. His whole thing is people, processes, and products. Their processes is a third of the business. If you're removing that from the business, that's 1/3 of everything that's not there, that you don't control, that's not yours.
And you make a great point, because what if that company disappears, or what if that company says, well, you know what, this is too hard, let's do something else instead? You're back to square one again.
Exactly.
And now you're trying to find another solution. What I recommend is build an automated system around lead capture, nurture, and booking appointments, as well as nurture to show. And you own the process, not some other companies running your processes for you.
You own it.
If that goes away, that's your business. If your process goes away, it's because you're out of business. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
People, process, products.
Products. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Marcus Lemonis. Yeah, exactly. 1/3 of the P's is gone. Yeah, guys.
But I think that's a key to long-term sustainable growth.
I just think gym owners need to not look for the easy solution all the time. Stop looking for a shortcut. Stop looking for the shortcut and do the damn work. I don't know what it is about this world we're in. We're always looking for the magic pill for weight loss. What's the hook, line, and sinker that's going to blow the doors off today? How can I shortcut this process and outsource this to do my dirty work for me? Mm-hmm. Just do the work, guys. It just takes, just strap up your fucking chin straps.
Yeah.
And do work. Coming from football, like when you strap the chin straps on, it's
game time,
right?
Yep.
You gotta just do it, guys. I don't know why we're looking for shortcuts all the time. Just do it. Pull up your panties or your britches or your pants, or tie your shoelaces and paint your face. Let's get
put your war paint on. Let's go.
Let's get busy and do the right stuff. Yeah, you know what? We can knock this thing out in 2 days here. Julian's flying from Boston. He's on his way here from the airport as we speak.
Yep. And
he made a decision. I'm going to strap it up for 2 days, and I'm going to go back, in 2 days from now and have this system running for me. And his reason for doing it is because he felt like his processes were all over the place. He didn't have process, and he was relying on his team, and he didn't want to rely on his team so much. He wanted to have full control over it, and boom, there we go. We're going to have this whole thing built out for him in 2 days, and he goes home.
We've talked about it. Back to the what happens when it goes away. We've talked about putting your eggs in one basket. This is a big basket to put a lot of eggs in. Everybody's consistently crying that they need more leads. Everybody's consistently saying that they need more bodies through the door. And obviously, guys, that's how business grows. But at the end of the day, if you're not controlling that process, you're not controlling the results. When that business goes away, or when the business, like you said, pivots or finds another solution to go solve, you're back at square one. What happens when that's 3 years from now, and your business is dependent upon those to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
Boom. Now you're really in a bad place. We talked about with social media and putting all of your eggs in social media, Facebook advertising or YouTube or whatever. You need to diversify a little bit, but by diversifying, you're taking control. That's what it comes down to. And in a system where you're offloading and you're outsourcing something that's so crucial to business, who's in charge of that? Not you anymore.
Setting yourself up, guys. And we don't want to see that happen to anybody. And we've seen too many of these companies pivot and switch and not offer things anymore. And hell, we stopped offering
changed,
things.
yeah.
We stopped offering some, like running some things for gyms because it didn't fit for actually what we were thinking and why we changed a lot of what we did is because we were solving a problem that wasn't really the problem.
Yep.
And we wanted to make a bigger impact and solve bigger problems because lead generation, anybody can do that.
And it's not the biggest, that's not the true problem in 90% of these gyms that we went into.
It's all these systems and processes. That's why we have our private client coaching. That's why we do our automation workshops. These are bigger systems and bigger problems that we can solve and change the whole business. Not overnight. Trust me, this isn't an overnight like magic pill that we're just talking about. This is a big change that ends up slowly moving the ship in the right direction, and finally, before you know it, you don't suck anymore, and you're awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah, and you're happy to do it. That's one of the biggest things that people kind of overlook, right? Business is, you guys are gym owners. You own this. This is yours. Like the struggle, the feeling of showing up for work every day. I talk to business owners, and they show up in their business, and they don't know what the hell they do every day. Like I literally walk through the door and I check on my trainers. I go and I grab a burrito. I do my own workout. I take a nap. Or I call a couple leads. I shoot some emails. Like nobody's deliberate with growth and moving the needle. Yeah. The business owners that want to get somewhere understand the importance of processes, putting these things in place and solidifying them so that you can actually get somewhere that you want to be and enjoy the process. That's a big thing. So many gym owners feel like they're stuck in their business because there's all these tasks happening that they don't know
what they're even doing anymore,
or how they're impacting their business.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
That's why we pivoted, is so that we can have a bigger impact and really help you guys change your lives.
So this is a a podcast based on a conversation that's currently happening out there, and we just wanted to give you our take on it. I don't name any names of any companies, but that this is just what I'm seeing and hearing, and I'm not so sure this is the right reason to do it. So, and we know that it's consistent that the need is the show, right? People want people to show up, but there's more than one way to do that. And in our opinion, the right way. And let's be honest, if you don't think that our automation workshop or our automation is the ticket, that's okay too. But do something, automate the process yourself somehow. Or take it in and just do the work by calling the leads. Or build a team that's going to be replace what automation can do. But you have to address the situation and you have to address the problem. Yeah, perfect. Don't look for the easy out all the time, guys. It's not always the right answer. So until next time, keep changing lives, and we'll see you on the next episode.